What's up, guys? OzoneTCG. We're here with
Will Candia.
and
Zohair Khan.
Zohair. What did you do?
I made top 16 of YCS Minneapolis.
And what did you do?
I won the giant card on Sunday.
Nice. And what deck did you guys play?
We both played the same list. Bystial, Tearlaments.
Yeah, the deck is crazy.
It was really solid.
All right, let's get into the deck profile then.
Yeah. So basic like Tearlament core. 3 Rhino, 3 Shiren, 3 Merly, 3 Hopness. This is never changing. Just fusion engine. 3 Pearl, 3 Terraforming. I think like every single tier deck plays this. Pretty standard, right?
Yeah. I mean,
No comments. Yeah.
Literally nothing. This is the most standard. This shouldn't be changed.
Yeah.
You want to see as many games as possible. There's just no reason not to.
New Darkwind Blast cards gave us Cartesia, so we played High Spirits, one Albion, and then Cartesia. This card's especially good just because it lets you search cards and play around roll. It gives you a full combo through Bisted cards.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't like this because while it does play around the Bisted specifically, it is susceptible to like some other hand traps, but I think we wanted like a few more 2-card lines to.
Yeah, I mean, like also like this card just in general being a quick play. Also like to play around other things like Dweller as well. You know, like also that gets to add back, and sometimes when your cool cows get shuffled back in, when you make like another kid or something, you can use it again, search the Albion, and then just like keep playing, and then you still have more names to fuse with. So it's literally just a broken card. Cartesia is like second best card in this deck. Like just being able to quick play fuse using like the combo between Rhino and Kit, and getting it add back to your hand every turn is just crazy.
Yeah, this going back to your hand in the end phase, even if you use the first effect on like High Spirits, is crazy because it just makes crime free.
Yeah,
every single time, and you just get it back.
And then you're just gonna get it back again.
Yeah, and like even when you hard open this, I won a few of my games by normal summoning this and activating the effect to hard fuse into a Rhino Heart. And it just forces so many cards because it forces all your tiers to go off, and it already puts
and also
on the field.
It came up once in the giant card where I had to like dodge interruptions with it because it's a quick effective use. So
yeah,
no, just very solid card.
It also just like it can take your kid off the field if it like cheats it, so really good stuff. Bystial engine, we played 3 Magnamut, best one, and then 1 Druis Worm, second best one, and then 1 Saronir. We just wanted multiple targets to search. Figured like instead of playing 2 Druis Worm, if we had the 2 copies, we'd like conflict a little bit less. Saronir is also pretty cool because you can send High Spirits to the grave off of it on a turn you didn't activate High Spirits, and just add that card to your hand for follow-up on the following turn.
Yeah, I mean, like the only thing that was considerable is playing more of these in the main deck because personally I played like 12 tier elements and like 1 runic sprite.
Yeah, majority of my games were tiers.
Yeah, like they were just all tiers, and if like I saw this game 1, it just makes like the matchup so much more easier. You know, getting advantage cards in their turn, and then like having like Druid's going to send a monster, and then Magma to surge on their end phase is just like broken. The only thing that was like really bad, I think, was Saronir. Saronir like just effect to send like a branded was like not that good for me at least. It was just a nerd name to search on Magma, realistically.
Yeah. This engine's really good because like
it was just very solid.
They're also just all 6s. It makes Beatrice insane.
Right, and I mean like
Cartesia and these make Baron.
And like you know like with like 5 in like a 40-ish card deck, you're like bound to see like 1 like 30% of the time. So
yeah, just good cards overall.
Right,
really good. 3 Super Poly. This card is pretty good. Really good into Runic Sprite. It like another cool thing about this is that people are starting to play. Now that people are playing Lulukaros in the mirror match, if they end on Lulukaros and Dweller, you just get to shut down their Dweller by playing Super Poly because they have 2 waters on the field. That's something that definitely came up quite a bit and something that I had to like play around. I think I was X2 on the bubble final round of Swiss. I chose not to make Lulukaros when I passed on Dweller in the tier mirror match because Super Poly just exists now, and I won the game because I chose not to put 2 waters on the field, and Dweller won me the game. Played 3 Droplet. I think this is the best card that we played this entire weekend.
This card was insane. This card won me so many rounds. I mean, like I like lost to Urano like round 10, but like in those 10 rounds, this card won me at least 6 of those rounds. This card was so freaking good. It was amazing.
Yeah, it stops Dweller, trades with like interruptions that your opponent has.
Yeah.
It's a solution to Manic and Cat, which this deck can't beat. Shout out Ryan.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, it was crazy because, like, you know, it's meant for those cards like Dweller and stuff that, you know, you can't really do much to, but I found it used more in the grind as well. Like, it was just really good.
Yeah, it was just a
so good.
Great all-purpose solution.
Yeah.
Played 2 Desires. We play a whole bunch of 3-0s. Like, we can afford to banish some of them and draw cards. Just great overall. 1 Instant Fusion. It's a free Kit Colors. Needs to be banned, honestly. Pretty sure every tier deck plays those. New Darkwing Blast cards. We played 3 Tearlaments Scream.
I mean, this card's like really good when you open it with like it's your name. The only thing that was weird was like I did cut like 2 or 1 like, post side depending on what I'm playing against.
Yeah.
Just because like I think like Dennis was playing like 1 in his main deck. I think that's like actually like a lot better. Considering that you're only wanting to really mill it, to be honest. Like for example, when you plays like Kirkala's Kaleido plus Baron, you go Baron, pop the Kaleido, someone back to the Scream effect add.
Yeah.
So like that's the only time you really want to see it. The effect on field to send another 3 cards was like good, but it wasn't 3 of good.
Yeah.
I felt like
I think it felt differently. This felt like a huge consistency boost, and it felt like having a Havanus on the opponent's turn just by having this on the field. And the 500 debuff actually came up for me pretty often because it makes your opponent's tier monsters not able to just crash into your tier monsters or
I mean, it just negates their first focus.
Yeah. And like it's a secondary way to search a trap, so now you don't have to like search the trap off Kit Kalos, or you can search 1 trap off Kit Kalos, send Scream through Kaleido Heart, and get the second trap so you can pass on Sulik and Crime. It's really good overall. We played 1 Heartbeat. This is like a mine out. There's like we're not playing other cards for it in the main.
Yeah, I mean that card was just not realistic.
I didn't see a single mine.
I got mine like once, just never mattered. That was actually more there for like crap like Sulik. Like in Giant Card I hit a top 8, like I hit a Chuche with that. I mean there's also like plenty of floodgates that you can hit with that as well, like you know, playing as math like you hit Ravel, like something like that. It's also like not terrible to mill in conjunction with like traps and grave to add back to hand.
Because like you mill one of the traps, you mill Heartbeat with it, you add the trap back to your hand. It's pretty good.
That's also like so not necessary, but it's like it's just solid.
Yeah. Played 2 Sulik. This is pretty standard, just the effect negation. I don't like this in the mirror match because they can just set up Mud Dragon and then it turns off your field spell, it turns off your Kaleido, it turns off your Dragocepelia and your own Sulik that you have. And so in the mirror match, I found that I was most often going for Crime. This card was great. I think this was like...
That card was very good. I mean, the matchup size, so I mean, like, you know, having Sulik with like the full board, besides Crime, like going into game 1s and game 1s especially, game 2 you go more for Crime.
Yeah.
But game 1s especially, I mean, I never had that issue with like Mud Dragon. If they were opening good enough to where they're making Mud Dragon with that board, I was never winning with Sulik, or without Sulik, so.
Yeah.
Nah, I think it's fine.
Yeah. And like game 2, having this in deck is crucial because people are siding in evenly and like Droplet and a bunch of other stuff. Just having this to stop those blowout cards is really nice.
Absolutely.
Also, this is really nice for Reaper. I got Reapered in my final round, and I went Rhino Heart, pitch Crime from my hand because I sent it to Grave, and I used Crime to put a Kit Kalos back in my extra deck and play the game as if nothing happened.
That's actually filthy.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. Alright, yeah.
That's the main deck.
Yeah. We're gonna go extra deck next?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that. You got it.
All right. 2 Kakalos is pretty standard. 1 Kaleido Heart, also pretty standard. New Darkwing Blast card. Rule Karos. This card is really good. It just warning on legs, lets you play through Nib. I think this card existing just made Nib a lot worse of a hand trap to play this format.
I mean, honestly, that card was better than Kaleido Heart. Like,
Yeah.
for me, just like being able to have them not be able to play tier effects and Bystial cards was crazy. That card stopped instant fusion. It stops like everything.
Yeah.
It stopped brand new fusion for games for me. Like, that card was just very good.
In the Runic Sprite matchup, it
Yeah.
starts the Runic, it stops the Runic card, stops starter. I found myself pretty often passing on Rule Kalos Kaleido Heart with like a trap or two.
That's so much
Which
more.
is-
It's so nice.
You just get so much value off of this.
You do.
Because you have multiple ways to send the Kaleido to grave.
One is like unsuper powered. One, two, if they like know someone to actually try to super power you, and like using the root house, you just send like root house, pick that.
Yeah.
And then like you still have like a trap to your name or like whatever. You know, you either had crime or like you still. And
This
so
is
it just sends the Kaleido effects on back and sends it in. Like
This is also like a crazy super poly target in the mirror because like you can fuse their kit and something else mid combo without like having to fear the Tearlament that you fuse off because this just negates the Tearlament that you sent to grave off the super poly.
yeah, it was
Really good card overall.
Would you say it's safe to say that you don't have to play D3S Frog anymore?
Oh, absolutely not.
You can rip those up?
This is just the replacement for it.
Let's go.
You played D3S Frog because this didn't exist. Garura, it's super poly target, pretty standard. Mud Dragon, same thing as well. Cartesia for Baron. 1 Dragos Tapelia. Still a good fusion card, I don't think it should be cut. Played the Baron for Cartesia. 1 Elf, just good card with Merrily. Another new Darkwing Blast card, Sprite Sprint. Also just really good. You just get to send Merrily from deck to grave on summon, so it's a guaranteed tier effect as opposed to Elf reviving Merrily.
right. I mean, like 90% of the time that card only comes up when like you're going and trying to break their board through like interruptions.
Yeah.
That was mainly when that card comes up. Is like you just need that extra body. So you go Dark Summon back from the grave, and then chances are sometimes most of the time I just summon like a Magnum up from the grave, and then aggravate the effect and search on that face, and then make Sprine send Merrily, just play from there. You know, if I abuse the other like interruptions that they had. So that was mainly for the grind. Very rarely would I make that turn 1. I don't think I ever made that turn 1.
I summoned this, I think, once or twice the whole tournament, but I don't think I'd cut it. This card's too powerful.
Elf was absolutely terrible. I didn't summon that card once this entire tournament.
Really?
It just like it never came up. And the opportunities where you are summoning that, you're just summoning Spine and Send. Because like you're just trying to kill him or like put up an actual viable board. There was one scenario I could make Elf, but like it was just not worth it.
Sprine's also really sick when you can pass on like Sprine Beatrice.
Yeah, because Sprine is another effect whenever a monster summon, you can detach a material from an XDC control, and then target one monster on the field. Was it card or monster?
It's a monster.
Monster and like spin it back or some shit.
Yeah, it's just super powerful card. They raised the ceiling of this deck too high.
Yeah.
1 Dark, just best generic Darkling 2 in the game. You revive Magnamut or your opponent's Magnamut with this. Get your own Bistids.
Or even Kit.
Yeah,
That's the value.
Insane.
It's so good. Dweller, it's just lingering floodgate.
It's Dwell.
Yeah, this is bannable, I think. Beatrice for the rank 6s. This card is great.
That card when it comes up performs.
Yeah, there was a match where I had 2 Bistid cards in hand and no starters, and Beatrice got me there. Yeah. And then instead of playing Time Thief Redoer, we chose to play Baguska. This is just because like shifter decks still exist, they're in the format, and so we wanted a way that we could pass back to the shifter players without losing, because if you pass a Flunder, they're putting Statue and a bunch of other stuff up, you're losing the game. You pass the Exo Sister, they're setting up like Magnifica or a bunch of monsters that attack out, and they get huge value. And both those decks pass if you just make the Busca. And you can do that pretty easily through Shifter.
I mean, it's also crazy too, because like you can go in second if you summon that card, you're just winning against the matchup. That card never came up for me, but I mean, if it did in any of those matches, like it would have been insane. And then
final card is Zeraboros. In theory, this card's great. I never summoned this once. Yeah.
I mean, I summoned it like 3 times in Giant Card for the reason that like the amount of times I went like just bodies or like going second and then summoned Zeraboros and like had Magma Surge in end phase, Magma Surge and then summon at the name in end phase and blow up the whole field and then summon back. I did that like 3 times in Giant Card. It was really good. Besides that, I mean, there were just the clear boards that you could not clear. That's kind of about it. I think I don't think these two were really credible for the fact that like they come up in new situations if you need them. The rest of the extra deck is pretty standard. You use like the same like 10 every game. But besides that, I think it just varies depending on what you're playing.
I feel like
these are very good if you're going into like regionals or something. Because like especially if you're gonna see a lot of Thunder and like crap like that, and then you're gonna like want to blow up boards where you can't just break.
Yeah, there might be room for an Underworld Goddess somewhere in here. I know like some other people are playing that. Pretty sure Jib was on it.
I don't know, but I disagree for sure.
I lost a Crooked Cook, so I'm biased.
Yo, how you lose a Crooked Cook? Anyway, side deck time.
Side deck.
Yeah.
So 2 Jerusalem. The idea behind this is that you know, going into a matchup like tier, right post side, you just want more tier names in.
Yeah. And we need 2 for the siding pattern.
Right. And the thought was that like you play 5, you have 30% chance to see 1 going like first. And like against like Runic Sprite and stuff, it's like it's not that good because they just gigantic early, and then you're like forced to use it on your own turn, which makes Magma card.
It's still like a 2,500.
Yeah,
which is really good into the Runic deck.
No, absolutely, but like
forcing things.
Yeah, but like if you know, I see those versus like Runic Sprite, then you just want to have more going into the tier matchup. Harpy, I saw it in like once against like Flunder. It was mainly just like a backer deck. Of course.
I played 2 Runic Sprite players. I brought this in along with the Cosmics.
Yeah. All in Cosmic. Yeah, hitting Falcon's pretty good. Nothing about that. Nib. This card in theory is really good, but again, like, you know, with the amount of tiers both of us played, this card didn't go in a whole lot. I put this in against like a virtual player, but like I don't think I would have played it again, to be honest. Just the amount of times I got my opponent summoned Recalos, you know, I've never put this in against you. You know? In the mirror match, I would side out the High Spirits engine and 2 of the traps going second. And so I'd bring in 2 Druid Worm, the 3 evenly matched. And then I'd also bring in 2 Nib, and I'd take out the 5 High Spirits cards, and then 1 Sulik, 1 Crime. So I brought these in just to like have an additional going second card. At worst, it'll like take the Dweller off the opponent's field. So yeah, basically evenly comes up a lot against a tier matchup, especially going into like game 2 and 3 when they put up like things like Dweller instead of Barone. That was huge. Evenly was huge all weekend. And then time for the worst card in our deck.
Yeah, this is horrible.
Was awful.
Dear God, no.
So the thought behind this was that like we shut out turns, but going to a tier matchup, it stops your own crap. So
yeah, turns out calling fusion when you play a fusion deck is really bad.
Yeah, like I mean, it won me like 1 match because like I had an established board and they're just like trying to fish for names, but I mean, especially even like against Sprite, it wasn't that good. Just calling XZs, like, you know, they're just gonna go Elfstone back anyway. Like it never mattered. So that was the worst card in our deck by far.
Yeah, this sucked. Evenly was the best card in the side deck,
bad.
I think.
Evenly was amazing. Yeah. Evenly is just amazing in general right now.
Yeah, that was the best card in mine.
So yeah, that's basically the list. We have to give a huge shout out to Toast.
Yeah. Shout out to Toast. Guy gave us the deck list like an hour before we were submitting everything, and like we wanted to figure out a way to solve Mannequin Cat, so we added the droplets in, and it performed. But
it was amazing. Yeah, no, droplets was a huge, and then we had cut like a card for Goose and all that. You want to shout out your team?
Yeah, shout out to Ozone. Shout out to Sam, Lyric. Shout out to the basement.
The basement. Everyone
Basement's
stayed.
insane.
Dude. Half the people
have crazy.
2 tops and 2 giant cards.
2 giant cards,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then big shout out to the barbershop. Gotta respect everyone in that group. And then shout out to everyone else who topped and we saw at the event. It was a great event.
Yeah. I'm super happy to top my home YCS.
Let's go. Alright guys, thank you for the deck profile.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks.
Peace.